Etsy sellers, welcome back to my channel and welcome to a brand new series, the Etsy Photography Masterclass. So this series is dedicated to the one part of Etsy that you sellers all struggle with, and that's photography. And with good reason, this is really difficult to do. So in this Photography Masterclass series, I'm going to break down all aspects of photography inside your store, show you what works, show you what doesn't work, give you examples of why things do and don't work. Every video is going to be a deep dive, and you need to watch the whole video to get a great understanding of what makes great Etsy photography. So to start with, let's get into something that you will all benefit from. The photographic faults that you all miss. I'm going to take you into my computer. We're going to look at 4 listings, and I'm going to straight away ask you which one do you think is the best photographic listing, and then we're going to dive into all 4 and I'm going to break open the faults. You won't believe how many faults there are. Let's get into my computer. This is going to be fascinating. Okay, here we are inside Etsy, and I've clicked on Etsy's picks for clothing, and let's go down to this line here. Okay, so we've got 4 listings, 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, now on first glance, these look like they're good photos. First question to you all: which one do you think is the best photo for the products out of 1, 2, 3, 4? I'll just open up my pen here, and I'm going to give you a few seconds to decide which one you think is best. Which one do you think is the best shot? Right? So the best shot for me is this one. Okay? Now you guys might think, Nick, what are you talking about? How can that be the best? Let's work through all photos together, all 4 in this masterclass, and I'm going to break down step by step what the problems are with all of these photos. They look good, right? But actually they're full of problems. And why is this one the best? You're going to learn so much in this photography masterclass. Let's get going. So let's get the pen out. Let's get a size. That will do. Okay, so photo 1. What's the problem? Well, the problem here is, what are we buying? Are we buying a bag? Are we buying a coat? Are we buying a pumpkin? What are we buying here? What is the value proposition? It's confusing right from the outset, because the distance of the model to the shot means it could be the bag, it could be the coat, it could be the pumpkin, it could be all 3. Now, yes, chances are it's the coat, right? But it is confusing. And remember, when we're on mobiles and tablets, people are scrolling through. This creates confusion. This is confusion. This will cause a customer just to check themselves and say, well, do I get the bag, the coat? Is it, what am I getting here, right? That's the fundamental problem with this shot. Other than that, the actual makeup of the shot is good. They're using a model which is good. They've got blurred background, guys, for all of you. This is critical if you can do it, because it forces your eyes here. Right? When you've got a blurred background, it forces you onto the subject, right? And that's what's important. So the main problem here is we don't know what we're buying. Now on to number 2. So you might say, well, what's the problem here, Nick? Well, the problem here is we don't exactly know what we're looking at. What exactly is this, right? I know if you look here, right, you get this lamb's wool cape, but remember, people are scrolling, they're moving, right? When you see this product here, I didn't see for a good 15 seconds that there was a model here. The only bit where you see the model is right at the top and the leg here, right? I thought it was on a tree. It was so confusing to me. I don't know if anyone else thought that, whether it's just me. There's no hands visible, right? And I was so confused as to what this is. So the problem here is, yes, it's some kind of material, but we don't know exactly what it is. I thought this was a blanket, and it kind of looks like a blanket. It's a cape, and a cape means there's a part for your head, right? This is shot incredibly badly because you're adding confusion, right? When you add confusion to your photos, it stops customers buying. It stops customers buying, and that's the fundamental problem here. Confusion here. Do you see how both of these have confusion? Let's get on to this one. So again, it looks all right to start with, but we ask the question, what are we buying? And really, this is a problem, because you could be buying the cap, you could be buying the t-shirt, you could be buying the hoodie, right? You could even be buying the coffee. No, you're not. I know you're not buying the coffee, but you get my point, right? This is massively confusing, and we can't have customers. Customers only look at a picture for about half a second, right? We cannot have a single element of confusion come up when the customer sees our listing at a glance. We've got to get them inside the listing. We know this one's got problems. We know this one's got problems. And now we know this one's got problems because we just don't know what we're buying. And the shot itself is poor. It's full of shadows all around here. We're actually buying a hoodie, right? Full of shadows here. The background is blurred. That's good. Good to have a background blurred. Excellent. But the actual shot is poor. We've got no definition, no detail here whatsoever, right? So do you see how photos, when you first look at them, they look good, but actually when you get into it, no, they're not. They're forcing your buyers to ask questions you don't want them to ask. So why was this the winner, right? On paper, this you wouldn't have picked this one, right? Did you pick this as the winner, or did you pick one of these three as the winner? So the reason why this is a winner, it's not a perfect winner. There's problems here. Let me give you the two problems first. Number one, the product's cut off. We've got the whole bottom edge cut off, the whole left side cut off here and here, right? It's not showing enough of the pullover, the jumper, right? This isn't a great photo, but it's better than these three. So the first problem is cut off. What's the second problem? The second problem is it's so dark. It's so dark. This is way too dark, right? The brightness needs to come up. This is probably a beautifully bright jumper, right? Look how dark it is. It's not pulling your eye in. It's not pulling the focus in. It's cut off. Even so, right? Even so, this listing wins because you cannot be confused about what is for sale. You can't be confused. You know exactly what it is. It's a jumper. Whereas these three are confusing. So even though it's got a grey background, now let me tell you guys another tip. Grey backgrounds. Never ever use grey backgrounds. Sometimes sellers' photography is so bad they say, Nick, no, it was white. It's a white background. But they've taken the shot so badly, it's grey. Grey is terrible. Don't use grey for anything. It sucks the life out of your e-commerce Etsy listing photography. So do you see how many faults are here and why this one wins? And why, if I was on a mobile, if I'm on a mobile and I see this, there are no confusing questions. I mean, I can check for sizes and so on, but I know what I'm buying. I know it's kind of slouchy. I know the color. I know it's a jumper. This is why this listing wins, right? So let me jump back out. Let me give you some more thoughts and conclusion here. So do you see, when you look at listings and start to analyze the photographic quality, all is not as it seems. Because when we first looked at those four, I'm sure you all thought, yeah, they're not bad. Actually, when you dig in, real issues in every single one of those photos that cause barriers to entry to customers to buy your products. And this photographic masterclass series is brand new, and I want you to get into my comments and tell me if you want more of these videos. I've got a whole series lined up. Let me know if this helps you. I know photography is probably the most difficult part of running an Etsy store, and I want to do my best to help you solve these problems. Get into my comments. Tell me if you want more. If you don't tell me, I don't know. So get into my comments and let me know. And as always, if you want to work with me, don't wait, don't guess. The booking now button's coming up to take you to a video that explains my Etsy Academy. So if you want to work with me in a private group learning environment, the Etsy Academy is the place to go. I look forward to catching you in the comments and catching you in my academy. Cheers.